It's 1967, and America just got a wake-up call. Soviet MiG fighters are dominating the skies over Vietnam, and the Pentagon realizes they need something revolutionary. Not just another fighter jet, they need a Predator. What they created became the most dominant air superiority fighter in history, with a combat record that sounds impossible. 104 victories, 0 defeats. This is the story of the F-15 Eagle, the fighter that changed everything. The 1960s weren't kind to American fighter pilots. In the skies over Vietnam, Soviet-built MiG-21s were proving that speed and agility could beat technology. American jets, like the F-4 Phantom, were loaded with missiles and electronics, but they were heavy, sluggish in dogfights, and pilots were dying. Then came the shock. Intelligence reports revealed the Soviets were developing the MiG-25 Foxbat, a monster capable of flying at Mach 3. The Air Force went into crisis mode. They needed a response, and they needed it fast. In 1967, the Air Force issued a challenge to American aerospace companies: design the ultimate air superiority fighter. The requirements were brutal: fly faster than Mach 2.5, climb like a rocket, turn on a dime, and dominate any threat in the sky. McDonnell Douglas stepped up with a radical design. Their pitch? Forget about compromise. Build a fighter with one purpose: win every dogfight, every time. Let's talk about what makes the Eagle so deadly. First, the engines. The F-15 packs twin Pratt & Whitney F-100 turbofan engines, each producing over 25,000 pounds of thrust with afterburners lit. That's not just power. That's a thrust-to-weight ratio greater than 1:1. Translation? This beast can accelerate while climbing straight up. It can go from ground level to 30,000 feet in under 60 seconds. The cockpit, pure fighter pilot heaven. A bubble canopy gives the pilot 360-degree visibility, no blind spots. The heads-up display projects critical flight data right onto the windscreen, so pilots never take their eyes off the enemy. Then, there's the aerodynamics. Those big swept wings aren't just for show. They generate massive lift while keeping drag low. The F-15 can pull 9 G-turns that would make most pilots black out, and the jet just keeps responding. Weapons? The Eagle carries a mix of air-to-air missiles, AIM-120 AMRAAMs for long-range kills, AIM-9 Sidewinders for close combat, and a 20mm cannon for when things get personal. Its radar can track multiple targets simultaneously and engage them before they even know the Eagle's there. But here's the genius. Every system works together. Speed, maneuverability, weapons, and situational awareness combine to create one overwhelming advantage. The F-15 sees you first, shoots first, and you never see it coming. July 27, 1972. Edwards Air Force Base, California. Test pilot Irving Burroughs climbs into the cockpit of a gleaming blue and white prototype. The first F-15A is about to fly. The takeoff was smooth, but what happened next stunned everyone watching. The Eagle climbed effortlessly, responded to every input instantly, and handled like a fighter half its size. Burroughs landed with a huge grin. "This thing is a pilot's dream," he reported. The Air Force ordered it immediately. By 1976, the F-15A entered service. Then came upgrades. The F-15C added improved avionics and radar. The F-15D became a two-seater for training. And then the Air Force got creative. Meet the F-15E Strike Eagle. Engineers looked at this air superiority fighter and thought, what if we made it bomb stuff too? They reinforced the airframe, added conformal fuel tanks, upgraded the avionics, and stuck a weapons system officer in the back seat. Suddenly, the Eagle could carry 23,000 pounds of bombs and strike ground targets with precision, all while still being deadly in air combat. Fast forward to today, the latest variant, the F-15EX Eagle II, features fly-by-wire controls, advanced radar, and can carry hypersonic weapons. After nearly 50 years, the Eagle is still evolving, still lethal. Now let's talk about what really matters: combat. The F-15's first kills came courtesy of the Israeli Air Force in 1979. Israeli Eagles intercepted Syrian MiG-21s, and the results were one-sided, total dominance. But the real proof came in 1982 during the Lebanon War. In a series of furious air battles, Israeli F-15s shot down over 40 Syrian fighters without losing a single Eagle. 40-0. Syrian pilots didn't stand a chance. Then came Desert Storm in 1991. American F-15s owned the Iraqi skies. In one legendary engagement, an Eagle pilot named Captain Steve Tate shot down 2 Iraqi MiG-29s within seconds of each other. Modern kills against modern threats. But here's the most insane combat story. In 1983, an Israeli F-15 collided mid-air during a training exercise. The right wing was almost completely torn off. The pilot, Captain Zivi Nadivi, somehow kept the jet flying and landed it safely. Engineers later calculated that the F-15's fuselage generates so much lift that it can actually fly with one wing. Try that in any other fighter. The numbers don't lie. Over 4 decades of combat across multiple conflicts, Middle East, Balkans, Desert Storm, the F-15 has achieved 104 confirmed air-to-air victories. Total losses in air combat? 0. It's not just America either. Israel, Japan, Saudi Arabia, South Korea, Singapore, they all fly Eagles. When your nation's security is on the line, you want the fighter with the undefeated record. Now, some of you might be thinking, we've got stealth fighters now, F-22s, F-35s. Why do we still need the F-15? Here's why. Practicality. Stealth fighters are incredible, but they're expensive to operate and maintain. The F-15, after 50 years of development, is a known quantity. Pilots trust it. Maintainers know it inside and out, and it's still lethal against any realistic threat. Plus, the Eagle can carry more weapons than stealth fighters. Way more. An F-35 has to keep weapons internal to maintain stealth. An F-15 doesn't care. It'll haul 16,000 pounds of missiles externally and dare you to come closer. And let's be real, in a dogfight, the F-15 is still a nightmare. Modern air combat emphasizes beyond visual range missiles. But if things go close range, the Eagle's speed, power, and maneuverability make it one of the most dangerous fighters in the sky. That's why Boeing is still building them. The F-15EX isn't just refurbishing old jets. These are brand new airframes with 21st century technology. The Air Force plans to keep flying Eagles into the 2040s, maybe longer. Think about that. A fighter designed in the 1960s, first flown in 1972, still relevant and still feared in 2025. That's not just good engineering, that's legendary. So what's the legacy of the F-15 Eagle? It's simple. When you absolutely need air superiority, you call the Eagle. For generations of fighter pilots, the Eagle has been the gold standard. Climb into that cockpit, and you know you're flying the best. You've got the speed, the weapons, the power, and 50 years of dominance backing you up. The F-15 proved that focused design works. It wasn't built to do everything. It was built to dominate the skies, and it does that better than anything else ever has. Today's pilots are flying jets their grandfathers flew, and those jets are still winning. The McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle, undefeated, unstoppable, unforgettable. Because when you're built to be the best, you don't just make history, you dominate it.